A very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on MTV Sports. My name is Ravi Gamage.
And I'm Punchani Edarisingha. Let's start off with the get your headlines.
4 divers who were stranded in the sea for over 24 hours rescued. Supreme Court to hear the petition filed by the Bar Association on the impeachment of the Chief Justice. President calls on the chief prelates of the Mallwathu and Askiri chapters.
The condition of the 4 divers who were found this morning after a lapse of over 24 hours at sea is said to be stable. Speaking to News First, a spokesperson attached to a private hospital in Colombo stated that one of the 4 divers were discharged from hospital following preliminary medical observations. The 4 divers who went missing off the coast of Mount Lavinia yesterday were found this morning, having spent over 24 hours in the sea. News First Nadim Majid filed this report.
They say that the human spirit is indomitable, the will to survive incomparable. While it is easy to speak of these qualities, to actually display them when most people would give in to panic and despair is a testament to the courage to survive. Lost and alone in the seas of Mount Lavinia for over 24 hours, far from land, 4 Sri Lankan divers overcame all odds to earn the right to call themselves survivors. Olivenza Arnold, Nakib Hussain, Mohamed Iqbal and Germaine Patrice of France set off on a diving expedition from close to Galle Face at dawn yesterday. The 4 divers set off on what appeared to be a routine expedition to a dive site named Karek, never realizing that they were about to be subject to the most dreaded experience. After being submerged in the deep sea on their dive, these 4 experienced divers resurfaced, only to find themselves far off course, adrift and alone.
There was a bit of a current going there, and when we surfaced, the current had picked up quite a bit, and we realized that we were about 1 kilometer away from the boat.
In this seemingly hopeless situation, the dive master Olivenza Arnold decided to take charge of the situation to save the lives of his team. I gave them a surface marker and then attempted to swim back to the boat, but I was unsuccessful.
At night, we kept the shoreline still in our sight, but during the day, when it was in dusk, it was in the morning, we really couldn't see the shoreline. I mean, we assumed that it was due to the mist or the haze, but then we soon realized that was not the reason also, and we had just drifted further out into sea. And this morning, since we saw the sunrise, we knew the direction we had to travel was east, and we kept doing that. We kept swimming for about 3.5-4 hours, and then we were picked up by fishermen who had just been in that area.
What happened is something very unusual. That means that we went to Karek to make a. For me, it was my first dive there, and when we came up, we tried to call the boatman, but the boatman didn't hear us, and the current take us away. So what we did, we stay all 3 together, because the dive master we lost him, and we follow the current until somebody pick us up.
The great ocean is merciless to those who do not respect her, and when one finds themselves adrift with no bearings, precious minutes can seem like eons. For hours and hours, the 3 divers waited and waited. As they kept their vigil, Dive Master Arnold was found by a fishing crew early this morning. Immediately afterwards, they set out to rescue the rest of the team, who had by this time been adrift in the deep sea for more than an unbelievable 24 hours. I used my GPS system and went looking for them. Afterwards, I found the other 3 about 13 kilometers off the coast. To be adrift at sea for over a day, lost, alone, without food and water, at the mercy of the currents and the elements, and survive is nothing short of a miracle. But these 4 men showed nerves of steel as they kept their wits about them and triumphed against all odds as the mighty ocean finally yielded her captives to the arms of their friends and family. Nadim Majid, News First.
Although fate smiled upon 4 individuals who braved the ocean for over 24 hours, 2 others in 2 different parts of the country were not that lucky and died from drowning.
The body of a monk who was reported missing from the Pinwata area in Panadura was discovered on the Pinwata beach today. The monk who was dragged into the sea while bathing is a 17-year-old Buddhivasumangala Thera residing in the Gorakapula Vaidyaraj Pirivana. According to the police, the monk had been washed out to sea when he was with a group of monks. Meanwhile, the body of Tarinda Dushanta, a resident of the Kalavana area in Ratnapura, who was reported missing yesterday while sea bathing in Balapetiya, was also discovered today.
In one of our headline stories tonight, President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who visited the Dalada Maligav today, paid homage to the sacred tooth relic.
The President also visited the Chief Prelate of the Askari chapter. According to the Presidential Media Unit, the President and the Chief Prelate had discussed development plans for the Askari temple. Later, President Rajapaksa visited the Malvatu temple and called on the Chief Prelate of the Malvatu chapter. Special religious observances were held at the temple in view of the President's birthday and ascension to power. Later on, the President travelled to the Sri Salavana Bodhi Mahavihare in Polgolla and declared open the newly constructed Sangha Vasaya at the temple. Meanwhile, the official sash and logo for the Risco Scout Jamboree, which is being held in line with the 125th anniversary of Dharmaraj College Kandy and the 100th anniversary of scouting activities at the school, were presented to the President today.
The Supreme Court decided today to take up a petition that had been filed by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka on the impeachment motion against Chief Justice Dr. Shirani Bandaranaike. The petition filed by officials of the BASL, including its president, seeks a ruling from the court that Standing Order 78A of Parliament is not in accordance with the law. The Supreme Court decided to hear the petition, limiting scope to this factor.
The petition was taken up today by a 3-member bench of the Supreme Court comprising of Justices Nimal Gamini Amarthunga, Priyasatha Depp and Eva Vanasundara. The court, which notified the respondents to file objections, also notified the petitioners that they could file counter objections 2 weeks after the respondents filed their objections. The Supreme Court announced that the petition would be taken up on the 21st of January. We needed to ensure the rule of law in this country in order to ensure its future as a democratic state. Accordingly, the executive, legislature and the judiciary had the right to independently act within the limits of their powers in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution.
A group of judges have decided to request the government to stop the false propaganda that is being carried out against the judiciary at a time when the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice is being heard.
This decision was taken by a group of magistrates, district judges and High Court judges who convened at the court complex in Colombo this afternoon. The group of judges had also decided to direct their request to the President and the Speaker of Parliament. According to a High Court judge who was present at the meeting, the discussions focused on the poster campaigns and demonstrations that are being carried out, slinging mud at the judiciary. He also told News First that the decision was arrived at to protect the integrity of the judiciary and the Chief Justice. The group of judges have also decided to request the Speaker and the President to carry out the examination of the impeachment motion on the Chief Justice in a transparent and unbiased manner, giving room for natural justice.
Secretary to the Judicial Service Commission Manjula Tilakaratna assaulted in Mount Lavinia. Demonstrations held in courts across the island in protest over the assault. Police request assistance of the public to identify a suspect. Colombo Crimes Division informs court that 600,000 telephone calls are being investigated in connection with the assault. 56 days have passed. Have the police identified the suspects?
UMP media spokesperson Parliamentarian Gayantha Kannadilaka says that the UMP convention was held in a manner which showed the entire country that the United National Party is a democratic one. The parliamentarian made this statement at a media briefing convened in Colombo today.
වාර්ෂික මහා සම්මේලනයේ 54 වෙනි මහා සමුළුව පසුගිය සෙනසුරාදා සිරිකොත පක්ෂ මූලස්ථානයේදී ඊටාම සාමකාමීව පවත්වලා අවසන් කරන්න සමත්.
We succeeded in holding our 54th convention peacefully last Saturday at the party headquarters. The government was expecting various factions to come here and that there would be a confrontational situation. But the convention was held in a peaceful manner, showing the entire country that the United National Party is a democratic party and one which can arrive at decisions peacefully.
ඊටාම සාමකාමීව අපේ සම්මේලනය පවත්වලා අවසන් කරයි කියන එකත් මේ වෙලාවේ අපි නැවත වතාවක් මතක් කරනවා.
Although the UNP media spokesperson say that there is democracy within the party, certain journalists who attempted to cover the convention were prevented from doing so.
Speaking at a function today, Deputy Minister Earl Gunasekara stated that they too helped Ranil Wickremesinghe extend his tenure as UNP leader.
During the convention held recently, he secured the party leadership for the next 6 years. We helped him to achieve this. We hope that he will return the favor by helping us to develop the country. He is very talented and has consolidated his position as the opposition leader. We wish him long life and hope that he remains as opposition leader till 2021. At the same time, we wish long life to Mahinda Rajapaksa as well and hope that he stays on as president till 2021.
Mahinda Rajapaksa මැතිතුමාට දීර්ඝායුෂ පතනවා 2021 වෙනකල් මේ රටේ ජනාධිපති විදිහට එන්න.
Deputy Minister of Economic Development Lakshman Yapa Abewardene says that no one can impose restrictions on the media. He made this statement during a function in Galle today.
Today, within 5 seconds, you can find out about things that have happened in any country in the world. So the media cannot be muzzled. Earlier, we were able to say what we wanted and say no to what we didn't want and stop it. But no one can obstruct the media in this manner today. If you attempt to block it in one side, then within a few seconds, everything else will come out. This is the power of the media today. Today, our lives are bound with the media. The future of the country rests with the media. You cannot do anything without the media knowing. That is why I said that the media cannot be obstructed. The Deputy Minister participated in the Media Day held at St. Aloysius College in Galle today.
Time now for the newspaper cartoon of the day.
And time now for a short commercial break.
News from the Parliament to follow. Stay with News First.